Chair. I'm pleased to take a call on clauses 1 and 2 of this bill. And in talking about the title, I'm reminded by a piece of advice that the Law Commission gave to the Social Services Select Committee quite recently when we were hearing evidence on the so-called feature focus bill. And the law commissioners that turned up were very, very clear about titles of bills. And their advice to the Select Committee was that titles should describe what's in the bill and do no more than that. And they expressed some frustration at how over the years titles of bills had taken, really had become little Trojan horses for branding of particular ideas that the government of the day might have had. So it was on the basis of that the title of the so-called feature focus bill was changed, and that bill went through this House, and under a different name, wasn't the feature focus bill. And so taking that advice quite seriously and applying it to the title of this bill, the Governor-General Bill, somehow doesn't, it almost falls, Mr. Chairman, on the side of being non-descriptive. Whereas there was an opportunity for the government here under this bill to actually signal something, the elegance, really, if you like, of this particular bill. And so there was that opportunity to do so, because the bill does traverse, as we have debated for several hours now, really, really important transition arrangements from the present one to a new set of arrangements. And any one of those, one or several of those kind of images or directions could easily have been incorporated into the title of this bill to give it that status of being much more descriptive of what the bill is about. So here we have a notion of entitlements. So here is this bill is setting forth in some detail what the entitlements will be for the next Governor-General. And it's done that very well, because there are some very good provisions in this bill. It changes from the present one to some new provisions, and those could have been incorporated into the title of the bill, thus giving it that's making it a much more accurate description of the bill is about. And the other one, as my colleague Phil Twyford has talked about, is transparency. It's another notion that's in the bill and could easily have been incorporated into the title in some form and in a creative way shown to anybody reading this bill in the future, the Act when it's passed, that this is about transparency. And that was also another notion that's in the bill that could easily have been incorporated. Then there's the notion of salaries, taxation, annuities. Those kinds of financial arrangements that this bill spells out in great detail is also a very important, maybe that's the most accurate one, Governor-General Financial Arrangements Bill, would have said much more than what the current title signifies to the reader. But perhaps most importantly for me, and at every stage of this bill that I've spoken to, I have been very impressed with how this bill defines the modern family and applies it to the Governor-General's family. There's something about the Governor-General's family and the Governor-General's spouse. So here were also some very, very important aspects of this bill that could easily have been incorporated into this title, thus making it far more descriptive of what is involved in the actual bill itself. Then there are those other notions of modernization. So it modernizes the arrangements, like transparency, could easily have been incorporated. There are also ideas of compensation and allowances, etc. So there was plenty of scope here, Mr. Chairman, for this bill to be quite descriptive, much more descriptive of what's in the bill than what it is at the moment. So I think the proposal of the bill, the Select Committee, has not been bold enough to take the advice of the Law Commission and really take it further, and I would have welcomed that. But it's interesting also, Mr. Chairman, to reflect that that the present Governor-General is the last one who will be there under the old provisions. And so it's interesting that he will be the one who signs it into the new bill. Thank you.